In the steel and glass jungle of Chicago, where skyscrapers loomed like giants. Against a sky bruised with storm clouds, 12-year-old Mia Torres lived with her brother, Luis, in a cramped walk-up above a bodega on the south side. Mia was a wiry scrap of a girl, her dark curls, a wild halo around her sharp face, her hazel eyes burning with a defiance she'd forged in the city's grit. Their parents had died 3 years back in a factory explosion that left nothing but ash and a payout too small to matter, leaving Luis, a lanky mechanic with oil-stained hands, to raise her. The city was their proving ground. Its alleys and rumbling trains amazed Mia. Navigated with a scrapper's heart, her boots worn thin, her dreams bigger than the towers casting their shadows. Chicago pulsed with chaos in late October, the air sharp with the bite of fall. Horns blaring over the clatter of the L rattling overhead. Rain slicked the streets, turning them into mirrors that reflected the neon glow of signs and the hunched figures darting for cover. Mia's turf was the margins, dumpsters she'd raid for scrap, stoops she'd claim. With a glare, her fist quick to settle scores with bigger kids who thought her small size made her weak. Luis worked late at the garage, his voice rough when he'd call from the door. "Stay safe, Hermanita, don't do anything stupid." Mia would nod, her curls bouncing, but safe wasn't her style. She chased storms, her blood humming with a need to prove she could take on anything. That morning, the rain came down in sheets, a cold, relentless curtain that drummed the bodega's awning where Mia stood, her hoodie soaked through, a stick in her hand she'd sharpened with a pocket knife to fend off rats in the alleys. She'd planned to hit the train tracks a few blocks over, scavenging for junk to sell, old copper wire maybe, or a busted phone, her pockets jingling with a few quarters she'd swiped from Luis' jar. The city was a gray blur beyond, the wind howling through the streets, but a yelp cut through the noise, a high, desperate cry from the alley across the way, sharp enough to pierce the storm. Mia's curls dripped into her eyes as she turned, the stick going still in her grip. It came again, fainter, a sound that hooked her deep in her chest, pulling her out from under the awning. Luis' rule flashed through her mind. No strays. Mia, we can't feed him. But this wasn't some alley cat. It was alive, hurting, calling for her. She darted across the street, rain stinging her face, her boots splashing through puddles as she ducked into the alley's mouth. There, under a tipped-over crate, she found it, a dog, sleek and white, shivering in the downpour, its gold eyes glowing soft through the wet. Mia dropped to her knees, the stick falling to the asphalt, her voice low and steady. "Hey, you, easy now." It was no mutt, silky fur, a collar gleaming with a tag. Luna, V. Grayson. Vincent Grayson, the Tycoon, king of penthouses and private jets, a name that owned half the skyline. Mia's breath caught. Luna was his, lost in her rain-soaked world, and she'd be the one to save her. The alley was a cold, narrow trench, rain pooling ankle-deep around Mia as she crouched by Luna, the dog's white fur plastered to her trembling frame. Her gold eyes locked on Mia with a quiet plea. The crate above offered slim shelter. It splintered wood creaking as the wind howled through the gaps, whipping Mia's curls against her cheeks. The yelp came again, weaker now, and Mia's stomach twisted. She spotted Luna's leg, twisted at an odd angle, a wire snare cutting deep into the flesh, blood mixing with the rain in thin red streams. This wasn't just any dog. It was Grayson's prize, hurt bad in her streets, and Mia wouldn't let it die here. She reached for the wire, her fingers numb from the cold, rain blurring her vision as she worked the sharp metal loose. "Hold on, girl," she whispered, her voice steady despite the shiver racking her. Luna whined, her body tense, but she didn't snap, her trust a faint spark in those glowing eyes. The wire bit into Mia's skin, slicing her palm, blood welling up and dripping onto the asphalt, but she grit her teeth, yanking harder until it snapped free with a twang. Luna stumbled forward, leaning into Mia's chest, and Mia grinned despite the sting, wiping her face with a wet sleeve. "You're tough, huh? Tougher than me, maybe." The collar tag gleamed under the alley's flickering streetlight, Grayson's logo, a stylized G, stamped beside Luna's name. Mia knew him from the news, cold, untouchable, his towers piercing the clouds. How'd his dog end up here, snared and bleeding? She scooped Luna up, the dog's weight light but solid, her silky fur soaking. Mia's hoodie as she ducked under the L tracks, rain drumming on the steel above. Luna's eyes flared then, gold, bright as headlights, and a vision hit. A limo. Swerving on a slick road, tires screeching, Grayson barking orders from the back. As it crashed into a guardrail, Luna bolting out the cracked door into the dark, her leash trailing. The image faded, and Mia staggered, gasping, her boots slipping on the wet ground. "You showed me that. Your escape, huh?" Headlights swept the alley, tires screeching over the roar of the storm. "Mia, where the hell you at?" Luis' voice boomed, his beat-up truck idling at the alley's mouth, its wipers slashing rain. He leapt out, raincoat flapping, his dark eyes widening as he spotted Luna in her arms. "What's that, a dog?" "Grayson's dog." Mia stumbled toward him, her voice raw. "Found her hurt. She's special. Luis, I got her." Luis cursed, his hands hovering, then grabbed a tarp from the truck bed. Inside, "Move it, Hermanita." They piled in, Mia cradling Luna on her lap, the cab's heat blasting as Luis gunned it home, the dog's glow a mystery lighting the dark. They'd stumbled into something huge, and Mia wasn't letting go. The walk-up's warmth hit like a wall as Luis kicked the door shut, Mia clutching Luna tight, the dog's white fur dripping rain onto the chipped linoleum. The radiator hissed in the corner, casting a faint glow over the room, peeling. Wallpaper, a sagging couch, a table cluttered with Luis' tools. Rain lashed the windows, the city a gray smear beyond, and Luis toweled off his buzzed hair, muttering, "Grayson's dog? You're gonna get US in deep, Mia." She set Luna down on a blanket by the radiator, her leg bandaged with a strip of Luis' old flannel shirt, and spilled it all. The yelp, the wire, the vision, her words tumbling fast, her hazel eyes fierce. Luna's gold glow flared again, softer this time, and Mia saw it. The crash replayed, Grayson's sharp voice barking, "Find her now." As a briefcase spilled papers across the limo floor, their edges stamped with cryptic codes. Luis froze, his towel dropping. "What's that mean, Hermanita?" Her eyes, they ain't normal. Mia swallowed, her hand resting on Luna's head. "She's special, shows me stuff, like where she came from. They want her back bad." A pounding rattled the door, 3 hard knocks that made Luna's hackles rise, a low growl rumbling from her throat. Luis cracked the door, his broad frame blocking the gap, and a man loomed. Outside, tall, slick in a black coat, a badge glinting under the hall light. J. Reed, Grayson Security. His face was all angles, his voice clipped. "That dog, Luna, Asset V3. She's proprietary. Hand her over." Luis gripped the frame, his knuckles whitening. "Found her hurt in an alley. My sister saved her. Ain't yours to claim like that." Reed's eyes narrowed, his gaze flicking to Luna, whose glow spiked, casting gold across the room. "She's tech-enhanced, Grayson's property. You've got till dawn, or we take her by force." Luna's growl deepened, and a vision hit Mia. Reed in a sleek penthouse office, Grayson pacing behind a desk, nodding as Reed said, "Contain it. She's a liability now." It faded, and Mia blurted, "They're hiding something. Luis, he's lying." Reed smirked, stepping back into the hall, his radio buzzing low. "Set the team, south side." Luis slammed the door, locking it tight, his breath ragged. "Tech dog? Grayson's playing dirty, means trouble." Mia knelt by Luna, her hands buried in the dog's wet fur, whispering, "You're mine now. Girl, no one's talking you." Luna's gold eyes met hers, fierce and steady, a bond forged in the rain, a fight they'd face together. Night cloaked the walk-up, the rain a relentless drumbeat against the windows. As Mia sat cross-legged by Luna, her stick tracing circles on the floor, the dog's white bulk sprawled on the blanket, her glow soft in the radiator's heat. Luis paced the small room, a wrench swapped for a baseball bat from his closet, his dark eyes darting to every creak of the building, every gust rattling the glass. "Grayson's got muscle. Cops on payroll maybe," he growled, peering through the blinds at the street below, where shadows shifted in the downpour. "That dog's worth something big if they're this pissed." Luna's ears flicked, her growl rumbling low, and her gold glow flared sharp and sudden. A vision crashed into Mia. Reed's black SUV parked a block away, leading two more men in rain gear. Spilling out, rifles glinting as flashlights cut through the storm toward the walk-up. "Luis," Mia yelled, bolting up, her stick clattering. "They're here right now." Luis spun, bat ready, his face hardening. "Roof, go, Hermanita." Mia hauled Luna up, the dog's weight staggering her. But steady, her trust a rock in the storm. Luis flung the apartment door open, then the stairwell, rain blasting in as they climbed to the roof access, the metal hatch groaning under his shove. "Open up, Torres." Reed's voice boomed from below, boots crashing through the front door, splintering wood echoing up. Luis barred the stairwell door with a pipe, growling, "Move." They burst onto the roof, tar slick under Mia's boots, the rain blinding as. Flashlights swept the edge, too close, beams grazing Luna's white fur. They darted across, puddles splashing, the city a blur of lights below. A shot cracked, not at them, a warning into the sky, and Luis roared, "Keep off, bastards!" Swinging his bat at the air. Mia's legs burned, Luna's weight slowing her, but the dog's glow pulsed, a vision flickering. A fire escape, west side, hidden by rusted pipes snaking down the building. "There!" Mia swerved, her voice raw, Luis pounding behind as shouts grew louder. "They're on the roof, cut him off." Reed barked, his tone furious. The fire escape loomed, its ladder slick with rain, and Mia slid down. First, Luna cradled tight, metal rattling under her boots. Luis followed, bat in hand, and they hit the alley below, ducking into a shed by. The tracks, a rickety thing of tin and rot, its door hanging loose. They slipped inside, the rain drumming overhead, Reed's voices fading into the storm. "Lost M, check the tracks." Mia sank to the dirt floor, panting, Luna licking her cut hand, her gold glow dimming but steady. Luis wiped his face, his breath fogging. "She knew the way, damn near saved US," he whispered, awe cutting through his grit. Mia nodded, her curls plastered to her cheeks, whispering, "You're my girl, Luna." The dog's growl softened, a vow etched in gold. They'd fight. This together, no matter how close the hunters got. The shed was a cold, leaking shell, its tin walls rattling in the wind, the air heavy with the stench of rust and wet earth as Mia huddled beside Luna, her hoodie dripping onto the dirt. Luis leaned against the door, bat propped beside him, his raincoat slick as he scanned the dark through a crack, the storm masking the distant hum of the city. Luna rested on Mia's lap, her white fur still damp, her gold glow pulsing softly, her loyalty a fire that warmed Mia against the chill. The tracks outside gleamed under flickering lights, rain pooling in the gravel. And Mia knew Reed's team was out there, circling, waiting for a slip. Luis shifted, his voice low and rough. Grayson's tech, worth millions probably. That crash wasn't no accident. Something went wrong. Mia nodded, the vision still sharp, the limo, the briefcase, Grayson's rage. She shows me stuff, Luis, escaped for a reason. A clank broke the quiet, metal on metal, close and familiar. Luis tensed, bat in hand, but a voice rasped. Mia? Luis? It's Carla. Carla Ruiz, the bodega owner downstairs, stepped into the shed, her raincoat soaked, a med kit slung over her shoulder, her van idling outside. Saw those suits roll up, Carla said, kneeling by Luna, her dark eyes narrowing at the dog's glow. Knew you'd bolt, heard the shot. Mia spilled it all, the alley, the crash, Reed's threats, her voice steady. Despite the tremble in her hands, her hazel eyes fierce. Carla ran her hands over Luna, pausing at a faint chip scar under her fur, then pulled a scanner from her kit, a battered thing she used for inventory. It beeped, flashing codes in green. Enhanced, sensory link, visions. Grayson's secret project, dogs wired for something big. Luis cursed, shifting his weight. Wired, like a damn robot. Carla shook her head, her voice grim. More, living tech, bonded to handlers. She's tied to Mia now, escaped something nasty. Mia's chest tightened. She wasn't just a kid scrapping by. She was in deep, holding a piece of Grayson's empire. Reed's voice echoed outside, faint but sharp. Tracks next, tear him up. Carla's head snapped up. We can't stay, they'll sweep the whole damn line. She grabbed her radio, its static crackling. My garage, north side, got a bay they won't find. We hide her there, figure this out. Mia lifted Luna, the dog's weight grounding her, whispering, we're safe. Girl, you're mine. Luis hefted the bat, his eyes dark with resolve, and they slipped out the sheds. Back, Carla leading to her van through a curtain of rain. The drive was tense, the van rattling over potholes, headlights off. As they wound through alleys, the tracks blurring into shadow. Carla's garage loomed, gritty, warm with the smell of oil, and they hustled. Inside, Carla guiding Luna to a corner bay behind stacks of tires, settling her on a tarp. She'll heal up, she said, checking the dog's leg with a gentle touch. But they'll keep hunting. We need a plan. Mia sank beside Luna, her curls dripping onto the concrete, the gold glow a quiet vow. They'd face this together, no matter who came crashing through. The garage glowed faintly under a dawn sky, its concrete walls solid against. Chicago sprawl, the air thick with the tang of gasoline as Mia sat beside Luna, a tarp draped over her knees to ward off the chill. The storm had eased, leaving a soft patter on the roof, and Luna rested on the tarp, her white fur catching the light of a single bulb Carla had strung up her, breathing steady as she gnawed a rag Carla had tossed her. Luis stood by the bay door, bat propped against a workbench, sipping coffee. Carla had brewed in the office, his shoulders tense from the night's run. Carla knelt nearby, sorting through papers, leaked Grayson's specs she'd nabbed. From a contact, diagrams of dog tech, cryptic notes on sensory links. This could burn him, she muttered, adjusting her cap. Get it to the right folks, press maybe, and he's toast. Mia ran her hand along Luna's flank, the dog's soft whine of comfort as her gold eyes flickered. Why me, huh? She murmured, her voice low, the question hanging in the oily air. Carla glanced over, her grin warm despite the grit on her face. She picked you. Mija, her rain girl, call it. That bond's yours now, visions and all. Mia's chest swelled. She wasn't just the alley kid anymore, scrapping for survival. She was part of something fierce, something Grayson couldn't touch. Luis set his mug down, his rough voice softening. They gonna take her, Carla? She shook her head, firm. Not if we move fast. Hide her deeper, get this out. The garage was quiet, the dawn calm, but Luna stirred, her ears pricking as a faint whine escaped her throat. Her gold glow flared, sharp and bright, and a vision hit Mia. Reed in a black car parked by the tracks, maps spread on the hood, men in rain. Gear nodding as he pointed north toward the garage, his voice cold. They're close. Find that bay. The image shattered, and Mia jolted up, the tarp slipping to the concrete. Luis. Carla, they're coming, right now. Carla cursed, grabbing her radio, its static crackling as she twisted the dial. Signal's weak. Damn rain. But they're on US, all right. Luis snatched his bat, his face hard. East, my Tia's place in Pilsen. We move her there. Carla nodded, already dragging a crate from a corner, its slats sturdy enough for Luna. Mia helped, her hands quick as she lifted the dog, her weight familiar now. Whispering, we're okay, girl, you're mine. Luis tucked the papers into his jacket, his eyes dark with resolve, while Carla grabbed the med kit. They hustled to the van, Luna's crate wedged in the back, the engine roaring too. Life as Carla gunned it east, headlights off, the streets a blur of fog and shadow. Mia's heart pounded, her fingers gripping Luna's fur through the crate's gaps. The glow flickering like a beacon in the dark. The city faded, the alley swallowing the van's tracks, but headlights flared in the rear view. Sharp, fast, cutting through the mist. Reed's SUVs, closing the gap, their engines a low snarl over the squelch of wet asphalt. Carla swore, swerving onto a narrower street, tires screeching. Mia clutched Luna tighter, her gold eyes meeting hers through the slats, the glow spiking bright. What's your loyalty worth, huh? She asked, her voice bold despite the fear clawing her throat. Luna's bark rose, deep and fierce, a sound that shook the crate, a promise. Unfolding, a vow that she'd stay with Mia, no matter the hunt. Luis gripped her shoulder, gruff but steady. She's your fight, Hermanita. Hold tight. The van jolted over curbs, Reed's lights flashing closer, and Mia steeled herself. This was just the start, and with Luna by her side, she was ready.